And I just turned the recording on. So you are being recorded. At least your audio is. And I am now sharing the screen. Now, what I did was I took an extra step, and on our Google Drive, I made a folder called CAD Resources. And in there, I made a base drawing. Okay, so you can go and get that base drawing. What I suggest you do each time you start a new assignment is take that file, copy it to wherever you're going to work, call it whatever you're going to call it, your team's initials and whatnot, and use that as a starting. It's not as important for this, right? So when you launch CAD, I'm going to open this. When you open a drawing file for the first time that has my template that I'm giving you, right? You'll get this message. Just hit ignore. This has to do with shape files. And then you'll ignore a second item, which is this pay information. You can use it for construction estimating. We're not going to do that. So I just hit attach pay item and ignore the SHX files. Right? So if you just do that, kind of back to where we were. So I'm going to go a little quick here in this first part because you already know it. It was in the last type units. That should be set. The decimals of a degree. Come over here, drawing settings. Should be set to NAD 83, state plane, US survey foot, south zone. Come back over here to ambient settings. And we're going to go to angle, and it's still saying decimals of a degree. So I'm going to switch that to degrees, minutes, seconds with a precision of 4. Hit apply. And okay. Now I'm going to do what I did last time, except I'm going to do it correctly. Create lines, northern and easting. You're going to go and you're going to get your 2 benchmarks, which are Centennial and Colonial, the Spire, Colton Chapel. So it's 507, 21445, 267, 2,673,119.33. So it logged to that first point. You can see down on the bottom here, it's asking you for the next north. So 507, 194.31, and then the easting 2672, 995.50. And escape out of that. Then Z is zoom, E for extents. There's my line. Now, if I did it right this time, if I type ID and select the end point of this line, ta-da! I don't know if you can see it down there. We go. 2,672,507,194. So it's giving me the X and the Y. Okay. Notice CAD, X and Y. So X is 2,670,000, right? If I go to the survey pull down, now remember, if that's not there, you just go to this little down caret and show menu bar. Go to survey, geodetic calculator. And then if you hit that button and use your snaps and grab the end point of this line, easting. Easting is X, right? Northing is Y. Yay, we did it. Okay. So now this is on state plane coordinates. Awesome. So I'm going to exit out of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line straight up for now. Somebody know their backside distance off the top of their head from their first point, like roughly, like 500 feet, 200 feet, what? Okay. Nobody's in the mood to talk on a Monday. 350 feet. Okay. So the distance between the monument that's between Pardee and Colton and the spire of Colton County, right? That's only 125 feet, right? So they're not that far apart. Okay. So I'm going to say that I'm going to draw my backside just straight up. I don't know if my backside was moved. I don't have to know. I'll explain why here in a second. Okay. If I go to what I was trying to do on Friday, create line by angle. Okay. Now, OSNAPs in CAD lets you select the end of an object, middle of an object, some feature of an object while you're inside of another command. So if I just pick the point down here, I can do that. Or I can say, okay, this was my backside line. I'm going to start at the end point of that line. So if I just type endpoint, see how it gives me that little green box? I'm going to select that point, and then it asks me for the ending point. So then I can give it a point number, a northing, or a grid. I'm just going to use snaps and grab the other end of the line. Okay. O-snaps are up here. So if you don't know what something is, I showed you how to turn on your tooltips, right? They show people how to do that on Friday. If you hover over something, it'll tell you that little command is snap to end. So you can type end, or you can select that little icon. So now it's telling you, see the little yellow instrument symbol? Kind of looks like a pair of tripod knife with a level line. And then it gives you like a little hourglass type symbol. That's supposed to be the prism. Okay. And then it gives you a purple one. So once you change that angle setting, you're just going to type in, if it was 20 degrees, 15 minutes, 16 seconds, you're just going to put the decimal point between degrees and minutes. And then fill the rest of it out. And then your distance to your next foresight point was 425.35. Okay. And you can keep going if you have interior angles. If you have exterior angles, look on the command line and see counterclockwise. Just type C, and then you're going to give it angles the other direction. Does all that make sense? Cool. I'm going to go around. And I'm going to say that I had say this was my figure. What I'm doing right now is, okay. So let's say this is what I'm assuming my backside is. Now, somewhere along the way, all right, you located two things. You located the spire of Colton and you located the benchmark, right? Maybe a backside of the benchmark. Maybe you didn't, maybe you located it as a side shot, whatever the case may be. Okay. Let's say I took a back sight on the benchmark here. Okay. And that was me shooting the end of Centennial. Okay. Actually, that's not going to work. What I'm going to do is go this way with it. Right. Now, we had to locate just the angle to Colton Spire, right? But we had to locate it from 2 known points. So I'm going to say that we did it here at this point, and I was back sighting this first object, and this time I turn the angle counterclockwise. So I'm going to type C for counter, right? And I measured an angle of, actually, you know what? I didn't go counterclockwise because it has to be clockwise positive, right? So I can always do this. Call it 317, 25, 43. Now, you're not going to have a distance target. So just assume a much longer length than what you need. So just say you know, it's 1,000 feet away. Right? Then from some other location, you're going to have another line. Let's say I shot it from this setup down here, okay? And my back sight was back to this point. So I'm turning my angle this way. And I'm also going to go a distance of 1,000 feet. The reason I want them to go much longer is so I get them to intersect one another. Because they're only going to intersect once. So that intersection point is going to be the spire, and then this was going to be Centennial. Right? Now I'm going to draw another line, but this time I'm going to use just simple CAD. Okay. So I'm going to use line from the intersection of these 2 lines to the end point of this. Now, I was pulling these numbers out of thin air. Okay. You see how much longer that distance is than this distance? Hopefully in the real world, your distance is going to be close to that 125-ish number. Then you're going to take this whole thing and translate it over to where it's supposed to be. We'll do that on Wednesday. Everybody follow what I did this time as compared to last time. So now you should be able to close your figure. You should be able to build that figure all the way around, get your interior angles, check your angular closure, and check your distance closure. So by next Wednesday, you're going to give me a report of how did your traverse close. I want angular closure, I want distance closure, and I want a coordinate list. And I'm going to show you how to do all of that on Wednesday. Everybody okay with this? Everybody okay with selling the high school students on assignment on becoming an engineer and why you're doing it? Thank you for your time. If anybody has any concerns about the test, email me, text me, set up a Zoom. Can't set up a Zoom at 2 o'clock in the morning because I'm gonna be asleep. I realize I'm on a different sleep schedule than y'all.